Hey everybody, welcome to the Crypto Plug podcast. We're really happy to have you here. I'm your host, Gabriel Enriquez. I said I'm really happy to have you here. I'm your host, Gabriel Enriquez, and we have a very special guest in here, Milton Guarderas, aka Investor Milton. Very knowledgeable. We've literally probably setting this up, we've had probably 6 podcasts worth of dialogue just in the last 2 hours or hour and a half since you've been here. But hey Milton, do you want to tell the community a little bit about yourself?
Sure, and thank you for having me, guys. It's a privilege. I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, we definitely were talking a lot. That's what crypto does. So yeah, I've been involved in the space for about a year and some change now.
Yeah.
Time's flying by.
Yeah.
Time's flying by.
So in crypto time, a year and some time is probably about 10 years. You've been involved in the cryptos for 10 crypto years.
It's enough data to be for 10 years. That's enough. Yeah. That's definitely for sure. Data just keeps pouring out of this space.
Yeah, exactly.
Or pouring in.
New information.
Actually, yeah. You know. Yeah, so I'm just basically just a crypto evangelist. Mm-hmm. You know. I'm an investor, but that's not something I really focus on. I'm more about projects, you know, education, letting people who aren't investors, you know, who aren't, you know, tech savvy, just let them know, hey, there's this opportunity, this is happening, this is going on in the world right now. Yeah. And, you know, you should look into it. If you have any questions, here are some reliable sources of information. Yeah. You know. So you kind of just spread the education and help people come into the space, because it's hard to break into the space if you don't really have any guides or anything. And some people aren't self-motivating, where they won't seek the education if it's not spurred on by somebody else. So it's good that you're doing that. Mm-hmm. And some people don't even know that, you know, it benefits them. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, some people, they complain. Even there's YouTubers today that, you know, they don't even know that Steam it or D-Live, you know, or D-Sound, any that exists, and you know, and they can be benefited. They could benefit from it.
Absolutely. And so, Milton, where are you from, dude? Originally, tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself.
All right. So, I'm originally from New Jersey, raised in North Brunswick, born in Plainfield for all my Jersey people out there. I moved to New York City for about a year and a half. Afterwards I ended up in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. That's where I fell in love with crypto. Yeah, that's where I fell in love with the space and the technology, blockchain.
It blew your mind when you first found out about it?
Blew my mind. Originally I heard about Bitcoin. Yeah. I was an activist at Occupy Wall Street, and was there in Tent City, and you know, there was a bunch of group of anarchists that were out there talking Bitcoin. We're coming with a new system. Down with the banks, down with the governments, down with Big Brother. Yeah. And you know, I was just like, what is this? It interested me because I liked the whole idea of creating a new ecosystem, a new system. And then, but I was more into network marketing at the time. And World Ventures, stuff all types of stuff. And I was so invested in these social, in these multi-level marketing companies, and I was like, I'm not making any money.
Yeah, because with that stuff, the thing about it is sunk costs, right? And you feel like you can't really get out of it because you've already invested so much into it, right? Mm-hmm. But, all right, yeah.
So then I saw Bitcoin as, all right, these people just want me to invest into a different, you know, scheme. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not really into it. I'm not going to get into Bitcoin. I really wish I didn't do that. Yeah. We all have those stories.
FOMO, a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah. So that was my last time and first time ever hearing about Bitcoin during that time. Mm-hmm. And then I was in Buckhead, Atlanta, Fars Road, for y'all to know, and I was at the Chevron gas station. And I've never heard about Bitcoin ever again since 2009. And I'm walking to this gas station and I see a "We Accept Bitcoin" sign on the window, awesome. And I was like, wait a minute, where did I see this? And then I remembered, and I was like, wait, they really achieved a lot.
Yeah.
For it to actually be here in front of me right now.
Yeah,
and
retail
so I got so curious. I went over there and I go up to the cash register guy and I'm like, excuse me, like, you buy Bitcoin? How does that happen? How does this work? What is it? Do you use it? And then they're like, sir, Bitcoin ATM. I don't know nothing about Bitcoin. I'm like, okay. So I walked up and I saw my first Bitcoin ATM and I'm like, I was mesmerized that it came that far to the point where I can buy Bitcoin so easily and sell it.
Yeah.
And people, it clicked to me right then and there. People are not even going to know what this is.
Yeah.
And where it came from. And they're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just because it's so easily.
And what year was that where you saw like the Bitcoin ATM inside of the
last year.
That was last year?
That was last year.
Damn, okay, yeah.
Last year is the when I started everything.
Oh, man.
You know, I got involved and I fell in love. Because as soon as I saw that Bitcoin ATM and I saw that it's that easy and it's grown that mainstream, even though a lot of people say it's not mainstream yet, and it really isn't, but you can physically see things.
Yeah, they're starting to come to fruition.
Exactly.
Basically. So, Milton, with like your experience with cryptocurrency and all that stuff, like it's really changed your life. We were talking about it a little bit. It's honestly, dude, it's super inspirational. And I think the viewers and the listeners should hear about this, man. Like from where you started, and then you discovering cryptocurrency, and where you are now. So what was it like? What was your life like really before you discovered cryptocurrency in your young years and stuff like that? Your formative years, your teenage years, and all that stuff. What were you into?
So, I come from a lifestyle that is very different.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up very differently, and I made a lot of decisions that weren't the best.
Yeah.
See, I'm the type of person who likes to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm a knucklehead.
I hear you.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't like to believe anyone what they tell me. I like to learn myself.
Yeah.
You know, if you tell me that if this, that, and the third happens, if I continue doing this, I'm gonna be like, okay, you give me a heads up. I hear you, but I'm gonna find out myself.
Yeah,
It might not work out the same way.
Yeah.
You know? So I was introduced to making fast money.
Yeah.
And being an entrepreneur, it doesn't really I got involved in the wrong crowds, I was a bad influence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna own up to that one. So I ended up getting incarcerated. I did about over 4 years in prison incarceration. This was about 11 years ago.
Okay.
And so I ended up, it was pretty hard. But you know what's funny? I actually thought, while I was incarcerated, I actually have a notebook written down and everything.
Yeah.
Ideas sort of like Bitcoin and everything. I've always dreamed of like decentralization or like voting online or, like empowering people using technology.
Yeah.
And when I came home, I learned so much.
Yeah.
I learned so much. And I came home and I was grinding.
Yeah.
Grinding, working, and then I found different successes. I walked the different walks of life. Like I was a project manager in Manhattan, and for a construction company, and I learned a lot about how things really run behind the scenes, because I was in that type of environment of people with power. That they wanted their penthouse to be looking real nice, reconstruct everything, or doing commercial buildings, or stuff like that. And I did very well for myself, but then everything went sour.
Yeah.
So see, I learned during that time period, I don't really like working for other people.
Yeah.
It's like you're dependent on someone else.
Yeah, for your livelihood, which is bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if they can cushion you to live very comfortable lifestyle according to a certain income that you're making.
Yeah.
And then
they
can cut it off.
They own you.
Then they cut you off. You lose your job. You can't afford that lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to go through a transition. So I just don't like giving people that type of power. So that's why I really love crypto.
Absolutely.
Because you don't really have to depend on anyone else. You're fully responsible in everything when it comes to crypto.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your private key. You're responsible for securing where you're sending your funds.
Yeah.
You're responsible for almost everything in crypto, and I like that.
Yeah.
Because that's how reality is.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's just how things are. So, I ended up becoming homeless.
Yeah.
I ended up going to Atlanta, Georgia, and I lost all my documentation. I lost my ID, I lost my social, I lost everything.
Yeah.
And I'm down there in Atlanta, and I had some money. And I had some money because of, working and doing well in New York, but it ran out.
Yeah,
It ran out. And I ended up, long story short, I ended up sleeping at Atlanta International Airport for three weeks.
Yeah.
And it might not sound very long, but every day felt like forever.
Yeah, of course.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Shout out to like Boss Lady. I ended up struggling for a little while, and then I found crypto. I found cryptocurrency shortly after that. And funny story, I ended up getting out of being homeless and ended up having a sugar mama.
And please tell that story just real quick. We gotta get that story in real quick.
All right, a friend of mine's wife ended up introducing me to a friend of hers who is a little older than me, and I ended up kicking it with her for one night, stayed a night. Then the next day she ended up asking me to move in. And then I was like, definitely. Definitely. This is like a blessing right now. Like, absolutely. Like, and she was living in Buckhead, Atlanta.
Yeah. 1
block away from Buckhead Avenue, which anyone from Atlanta, that's money.
It's mad.
And so it was the perfect opportunity because, that allowed me at an amazing time in the market, to work.
Yeah.
And to work hard and to study, and it gave me a lot of time. And what I did was I didn't like to have all that time on my hands. So this next day I went and I found a job at a restaurant called Taverna Buckhead, and it became the hottest restaurant in Atlanta at the time. And I was part of the opening crew.
That's awesome.
So there I was just working. 7 days a week, double shifts, taking everybody's shifts. And right now, if you go to Taverna and you mention me, they'll tell you, oh, that's the guy that used to talk about Bitcoin all the time. That's the guy who used to go every shift. I would take my cash, 100% of it, and I'd go to that same Bitcoin ATM, and I would get ripped off because they were giving me like 15%. The fees were crazy, but I didn't care at the time. And literally every shift, just putting all my cash, because I didn't have to worry about rent for 5 months, didn't have to worry about food for 5 months, and like I was just grinding, and I just kept learning and researching, and that's why I even share my story with people, because I'm like, you can do absolutely what you want in the world, right? It's your responsibility, however it is that you live your life, what you decide to do. But it's hard for a lot of people to get anywhere, in the system in the world that we live in today in society.
Exactly. Financial institutions are put in place to kind of limit people, and they hinder your successes and stuff because they don't want you to be too successful.
No.
They don't want you to be too
told us all.
They
don't want you to win.
Yeah, they don't want you to win. They want them to have another album, so he made another album. But so Milton, so I mean, up to this point, like you've done very well for yourself, and congratulations. You've come a long way. So if you had to highlight one project right now that's in the works, what would you highlight? What is your favorite project that's in the works right now?
Ooh, one that I just want to succeed. How about that? I want this project that I learned about a couple months ago at Neo DevCon. It's called Data Fund.
Data Fund.
Yes, it's really interesting just because of the simple fact that it's solving a problem in a huge way. Ownership over our data. Right? So I admire them just because no one has heard of them yet. right? And some people in the space have, but no one really heard of them yet. They're not even in pre-sale yet.
Yeah.
The thing about them is they're focused on, creating, having something done in order to like give a product out to the people. Right now, they're working on the European Union being their main focus. Now, as far as now, what they're trying to do is for you to own your data all over the internet, and you can even get and request all the information that your information that any institution has.
Yeah.
Right? Including government, corporations, anything. You request that information because now it's yours. It's just always been yours. Now you just have more control over it.
But now you have to claim ownership over it.
Exactly. So now you're reclaiming ownership over your own data, and now now they must export that data to you, and you request for them to delete that data on you. Now they already have something in the works with the European Union already.
Really?
So that's just very interesting to me, because a lot of projects, they're just going for this country or that country.
Yeah.
They are actually trying to integrate this already
to an entire
with
region.
a whole region.
Yeah.
And that's pretty interesting to me. So I just suggest look into them.
Do you think so? With Data Fund, do you think that project is more likely to succeed with the European Union than it would in the U.S. because the European Union is usually more they're more open to new ideas, and they can't. And I mean, okay, let's be real here. The U.S. is cool and everything, and I served in the military for the U.S. and stuff, but I'm not going to kid myself here. I know that the European Union seems to care more about their citizens than the U.S. I mean, in the U.S. it's almost like dog eat dog, and whatever happens. In the European Union, they care more about their citizens. So you think they're more open to wanting to give the citizens more freedom over their own information and their personal stuff, like things that belong to them in the first place anyway.
I honestly don't know, but I hope so.
Yeah.
Just because of the simple fact that that gives a bigger opportunity for a lot of different industries, not just crypto. If people started to, like, corporations or projects or anything started to focus more on a whole region, like the EU, like we'd be able to just get mass adoption a lot faster. The infrastructure would be uniform. Things would run a lot more smoother, and everybody would be on the same page.
Yeah, because can you imagine how quick a lot of the things that we're seeing develop in the space would come about if there was just more general adoption and less resistance from the institutions that are in place now? I mean, that's almost like a wish, because the truth is that these institutions that try to hinder the projects that crypto is bringing about, these projects are a threat to their existence. So that's a wish for me to be like, oh, I wish they would be more open. But that's like somebody being like, yo, be more open to me killing you. Like, be more open to me coming in your house and living inside your house and taking all your shit. Like, that's obviously a wish, and it's not gonna happen. But it's nice to think about, right?
Yeah. And you see right now, like, the regulators, especially here in the United States, like SEC, like, they really have been focusing on, keeping people safe. Safe.
Yeah,
and,
we're doing air quotes for everybody who's listening to the podcast. We're doing air quotes here, okay?
So it's like they're saying that unaccredited investors are not responsible enough with their own funds to invest into these ICOs. That we're not smart enough. That we're not, capable of making a rational decision with our money.
Yeah.
And but people with money, they're allowed to get richer. Like, they're allowed to just get in these ICOs in 10x, 20x. But the average person can't. See, when I first started in the space, which is not long ago at all. I was able to get involved in ICOs. KYC was not really enforced at all until like maybe the end of August, and like I made really good money. I did very well for myself, and so did the other people that I helped, that also was listening to me and got involved in the space at the same time. And, after they did KYC, that just stopped like a lot of progression that could have happened for me and a lot of other people. because I'm not an accredited investor, and I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even want to be an accredited investor.
Yeah.
I don't want to be recognized and, all this. I just want to I want to invest. You don't have to be accredited to buy gold, do you?
Yeah, exactly. It's true.
I just want to buy my little piece of my asset and just hold on to it or trade it or do whatever I want. I don't want to be
without the extra regulations
all
and stuff like that, and all the identification and all the stuff that they request. And
you see, they started that way, right? To stop people like myself from creating wealth, right? Or being a part of history, or being a part of,
the flip of the wealth disparity, basically. So yeah.
Exactly, right? Now, from what I understand and from what I'm getting my information, SEC is not just going after that. Now they're coming after the earners in cryptocurrency. The people who are involved in these bounty programs. Now they're saying that.
Can you talk about that a little bit, about the bounty, about how the SEC is trying to impose their will on people conducting bounty programs and stuff like that? Can you talk about that for a second?
So I've been involved with a couple, in talks with a couple incubators, venture capitalist firms, and I was actually here I was in Denver for Day of Crypto. It was by Salt Lending, Polymath. It was really great, and they had a section there for regulations. They were talking about U.S. regulations and everything. And somebody who used to work for SEC was one of the people on the panel. I was able to talk to him afterwards, and now a lot of people that are trying to go out in ICO, they're walking very, very thin lines, in order so that they don't get, the wrath of SEC, or anything like that. And now what they're saying is this year they're going to be putting a lot more focus on bounty programs because they're saying it's illegal. You are not allowed to pay somebody to grow your community. So if I'm giving you 10 tokens to sign up for my Telegram group, they're saying that is illegal because you're basically, it's synthetic. It's a synthetic community. It's a synthetic following, or it's not real.
That's actually ridiculous. You know what the most ridiculous part about that is? That in basic economics, you have a supply and demand first of all, and then you have incentives to do things. You know what I mean? So you can for sure. Okay, if you're looking at an idealistic world, you can go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, join my Telegram group. It's going to have all this great information." But the truth is that they're not going to gain any utility out of that, and there's no incentive for them to do so. Why would they do it? You know what I mean? And that's basic economics, you know what I'm saying? So for the SEC to say something as ridiculous as, we're not going to let you guys do things that are proven that have been done in traditional industries already, only because this is involved in the crypto space and all that stuff, that's insane, and it's so biased and so wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is, because these people are trying to earn. Not everybody has money right now to invest in cryptocurrencies.
And with the cryptocurrency space is about freedom of being able to create wealth, basically, of freedom from the institutions and stuff like that, and we're getting a lot of pushback.
Yeah, I cannot just sit here and just watch SEC really take all our opportunities. A lot of people in the space that are starting off with their ICOs and everything, they finding loopholes. Now they're disguising bounties as airdrops. And if a lot of people who are involved in airdrops or looking into ICOs, you will see, you have noticed. Noticed that airdrops have changed. It's not, you have a certain amount of Ether or a certain amount of Bitcoin and you're getting an airdrop just because of that anymore. Now it's more like, okay, go follow our Twitter, retweet us 12 times, do this, that, and the third, and then, we're going to give you an airdrop. So it's like the traditional airdrop is non-existent with ICOs like that anymore. So it's had to change. So that's a good thing in my opinion, because we see regulators coming at us from one angle, and then we're just adjusting, and we're going to continue. Just like privacy coins, just like all these cryptocurrencies. if Bitcoin like ends up becoming transparent and it's no longer anonymous at all, which really isn't, with the whole way that they can use the IP addresses and all this to tie identities, but there will be more. That's the beautiful part about this space. It's open market. You could copy the code and create your own coin to compete. And competition is
it's the cornerstone of the free market.
Exactly. It's something that's good because then we'll get the best product, and then the people get to decide.
It's like when so like even just speaking and stuff and like having this conversation with you, it almost brings reason to understand why so many people in the space are libertarians. Because when you think about it, like in the government and stuff and all these people that are trying to regulate the space, it's so ridiculous.
It's getting smaller though.
Yeah.
That population of us, everybody, like a lot of us, we're quote unquote woke. A lot of the community,
as the kids say.
And then we see like I said, the first time I heard about it was during protests. Activism. And like now the space is not the same because they got into space.
They've infiltrated.
They've definitely been in the space. And we hear people
you can see
like Eric Voorhees
and stuff like that, all kinds of things.
Eric Voorhees speaks about this, and like I was so happy I was able to see him talk. And I got a few words in with him at the conference, and he was joined by a couple of his peers that have the same type of ideology or similar, but then there's other people that are on the other side of the coin that's supporting, like a Fed coin.
So it's
like they're kind of trying to make it so that Bitcoin, can be that coin in the future, and that's dangerous, but at the same time that's awesome because
more wide acceptance in a way.
And no, but not just that. We get to just decide whether or not to use that. People aren't going to really want to use that.
That's true.
And then we get to, competition. Competition is the best, man. Free market. Competition is the best.
And Milton, earlier, dude, I wanted to ask you about this because I was really excited to hear about it, and maybe some of the listeners and viewers haven't heard about it, or if they have, maybe they haven't had a lot of information, but I see that you're already a user, and you said it was at the end of its beta, Rize App?
Oh, Rize App.
You gotta talk about that for the listeners and the viewers.
Man, I'm a big supporter in being social, getting paid to be social.
Yeah, exactly.
Steam it, D2, D-Live, D-Sound,
all of it.
Like these projects are great because it benefits the people that are creating the content, Now, we've stepped it up to another point where we have this app, it's called Rize, where you can basically just be social, like how you can bring people up on Instagram Live? Right? And there's two screens and you're both live at the same time and you have the audience talking to you? It's sort of similar. Except there's 4 screens, so 4 people could be live at the same time, and your audience is there, but your audience could actually send you tokens, send you likes and stickers, and it becomes this whole experience, which is like addictive, because then you're just like, oh my god, I have this amount of tokens, just off of just streaming for past
doing
week.
The stuff that you do for free on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff anyway.
And it's even it's a unique experience because the audience gets involved. And in this platform, as the more you use it right now, the more tokens you accumulate. And after the beta and everything is over, the people who have been using it, right? They're going to be the ones that benefit from it because they're the ones that have accumulated the most tokens. In the future, you're still going to be able to, but it's not going to be as easy as it would be now.
For the people, because you get in early. It's the same thing with everything, no matter where you go in the crypto space, stocks, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're going to make some money, you get in early. That's what it's gonna yield. It's gonna bring the highest yield, right?
And the Rize app is actually created by a successful platform called YouNow.
Okay.
Yeah, so you now is a big supporter of paying content creators what they deserve.
Yeah.
You know, so I would definitely recommend to look into Rize. Rize is something that I use. I find myself using it every day now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Instagram, it's like Facebook, it's like YouTube. It's just part of my everyday routine now.
Yeah. And if we can get more people in the community on there, then it's going to help the advocacy and everybody that is actually on the platform.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about it too, those people in the audience, they don't get stuck in the audience. Yeah. So like you can choose to bring up your audience member into the chat.
Oh, cool. All
so you can literally drag people, and there's this feature now where it's like a hands up. So you put hands up a button, and it shows the person that's broadcasting that you're interested in being dragged up.
Oh, that's awesome.
On the thing.
So it allows, so if for the listeners or for the viewers, basically, so it allows for the people who are in the audience and stuff to participate in the conversation and stuff like that in a much more different way than in the traditional social networks like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, where you stay in the audience. You can literally be in the audience 1 second and then somebody drags you up into the actual panel, let's say, right? And suddenly you're speaking to the audience. You're no longer the audience. That's cool, right? That's like a huge leap in trying to give people a voice out there, you know?
Yeah, and it's a good way to network. It's like I've made so many friends on Rize. Like acquaintances where we are actually building something now, you know, and we didn't know each other at all. We're from all different parts of the world, and we met through Rize. Yeah. So as that happened, that it hit me. I'm like, wow, like this would have never happened without Rize. So Rize actually has some type of use case. It actually has, you know, some type of effect, you know, that is different from the social, you know, media and atmosphere that we have now. And I think that's really, really cool.
And Rize is cool because, you know, it's people who are interested in the community already. You know, it's like, it's not like where you have to hunt people out on Facebook that are interested in the same things as you.
And the beautiful thing is that these people are coming from you now that never heard of cryptocurrency before too, right? And they are creating content and everything, and they're learning about crypto.
That's awesome.
So me and 10 other people on Rize are really getting involved in teaching these people what it is because they've heard of it. They're like, hey, we get paid in cryptocurrency, like, what is that, like Bitcoin? Then, you know, I bring it up in the chats. I'm like, Bitcoin out of nowhere, and they're like, Bitcoin, hey, we heard of that, like, you know, and Rize right there.
That's perfect.
And look at the Rize app right there, and it's great. I really look. If you want to look more at the investor side of things, I suggest go to Tizen's page, and he has a whole playlist of just props. Okay. Props is actually the project that actually created this. So check out Props and check out Rize, definitely.
All right, cool, yeah. And dude, where can people find you on Rize? Is it like a screen name kind of thing, or is it?
Yeah, you could find me at I'm the guy.
I'm the guy. That is the coolest. That is the coolest name. I'm really upset that I didn't think I'm the guy. I'm the guy. But
you know where I got it from?
Where'd you get it from?
A lot of people, people are gonna say like I'm the chick flick freaking guy for this because it was this movie I got it from. And it was Day and Night with a K, with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
And have you seen that movie?
No, I've never seen it. But
you have to like get a girl and just watch the movie, you know, because if you're watching it by yourself, you know,
somebody comes in, you're like, shut up, you're kind. You know, it's like instinctively.
No, but it's actually like an action comedy chick flick.
Okay.
So it's like perfect for like guys with watching it with their girls. So anyways, there's this scene where he's the Cameron Diaz is talking to her ex-boyfriend at a diner, and she's like, oh, there was this guy and he killed all these people, and you know this plane crashed and all this stuff, and then he's like, yeah, you must be tired or something like that. Then Tom Cruise comes in, sits down, he's like, hey, how you doing? And then she's like, that's the guy. And then it's like, what? And then like, and then Tom Cruise like, yep, I guess I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
And you were like, that's it. Like,
I was like, oh, that's epic. I gotta keep that.
That's awesome.
I gotta keep that.
And Milton, for one last thing, real quick, so we can leave the audience with something to think about. You're wearing the Neo hat. Give the audience your perspective on Neo and how far it's come and where it's going.
Neo, like, I really, really like Neo and where it's going right now and where it's been. It's community.
Yeah.
Community is so huge in this space, and Neo is growing in the right places.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're doing their European tour,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. What their community is doing and the ecosystem they're building. They're not focused on like stuff like they're focused on creating infrastructure.
Yeah.
Most of their projects on the Neo platform that are on there, you'll if you really look, it's all infrastructure to create something a lot bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the developer community there is growing. They're attracting students. They're attracting other developers that we're thinking about getting involved in Ethereum. But they don't want to learn Solidity.
Yeah.
And they want to just use C++ or Python or whatever it is that the language that they want to use to build on top of this platform.
Yeah.
And Neo, I really like it just because they're regulation friendly. So like they know that they want to focus. They want to just be focused on creating their platform and this infrastructure. They don't want to have to deal with SEC. They don't want to have to deal with all these governments and regulations. So they're kind of regulation friendly, but that's for now. Later on, they're going to be wanting to, Rize. And then, they're going to want to they're creating a bunch of decentralized things.
Yeah.
Like right now, they have NOS, right? NOS is basically a OS system for the Neo platform now, which is going to make things a lot easier for people to build on top of it, not focused on infrastructure. But most of they're switching everything up. They're shuffling their deck right now.
Yeah.
Neo, we have Neo as the main coin, right? Then we have gas, right? And in the ecosystem that Neo has right now, it's based off of that. But now, because they're trying to be more, regulation friendly, they actually have introduced ontology. And ontology is going to play a huge role in the restructuring of the new Neo ecosystem. And the reason why they're doing this is because they're trying to stay away from the label of securities. And like I said, they're not trying to be focused on regulations and stuff. They just want to like have all the time in the world just to develop the space.
Absolutely.
And so ontology is going to play a huge part, and so is on gas. And it's exciting time in Neo. It's an exciting time right now because they have products, they have actual things that are working. They even have smart IoT in Neo. And that's a huge deal for like people that are trying to use RFID chips in supply chains and stuff like that, where you see Walton chain and VeChain, dominating the space. Like in his early on stages, like how Walt Chain right now has a partnership with Alibaba. That was huge. But
so would you say you would recommend people to get educated on Neo and stuff like that if they haven't already?
Definitely, just look at the whole space. Like just what I tell new people who's coming into the space that like are fixed on wanting to learn themselves, which is awesome. I tell them research the top 20 coins, right? Every single one. If you have the patience to do that, and really like thoroughly research these projects, then you can make it in the space. You'll be able. You'll be a lot safer. You'll be able to get more involved.
Education is power.
You'll make the profit that you want. But the space isn't all about money anymore. It's really nice. It's bigger than that. It's more about making sure projects succeed.
And also, I know a lot of people say this, and it might sound a little bit cliche, but I mean it's revolution, right? So we should treat it as such. You know what I mean? But Milton, dude, it was a pleasure having you on the show today, dude. So much good conversation, so much insight, and an inspirational story, everything. Dude, you got it all. You got it all, dude. And on top of it, you're from the Northeast, so we got love for you, man. And dude, so you want to plug into your social networks real quick before we...
Sure. So if you haven't already, just follow me, subscribe on Investor Milton on YouTube. I'm imtheguy on Instagram to see a whole different perspective. And go find me on Rize. Download Rize App and follow Omar and Gabe. I mean, I'm the guy, so just follow me on there. And just keep learning.
Hey everybody, and if you're looking for the Crypto Plug podcast on any of the social media networks, you can look in the description and you'll find all our information. So thanks for being here with us, guys. This was honestly such an amazing interview, and this is my first time meeting Milton. But he's like family, dude. He's always welcome here. And thanks to the people that are watching over the live stream. Thank you for being here. This was amazing. So stay cryptic and stay plugged in.